Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel and another episode of Grandmaster Blunders. We are once again featuring what I consider the greatest chess player in the world, Magnus Carlsen. Even he is mortal, even he commits atrocious chess blunders. We actually got game footage of this one, so stick around. Right at the end of the video we will be playing that. But let's have a look at Magnus Carlsen versus Vasyl Ivanchuk from the 2015 World Rapid and Blitz. Now, story of this match, Magnus is, trying to win World Rapid and Blitz, and he's coming against Ivanchuk. I believe this was Blitz. Yes, it was. We have d4 from Magnus Carlsen, knight to f6, bishop to g5. So Magnus Carlsen deploys a Trompowsky attack. We get c5, which is the main line, bishop takes f6, pawn takes f6, and now d5. So we're already going to get an imbalanced game because we played g takes f6. So yes, you've got strong central support, and you've also got an open g-file, but now the king probably has to go long, so it's going to be an imbalanced game. We get queen b6 very early, queen to c1, and now f5. Look at this, already cutting edge stuff, I believe. We get c4, we get d6. The clocks are a bit broken, because I think this page is very old. I'm using the Avenge page, and it's from 2015, so clocks aren't working, so I can't show you to them. But yeah, very, very interesting stuff nonetheless. We get knight to c3, knight d7, and now g3. Bishop g7, knight to f3, knight to f6, and now look at this knight to d2. Because we're anticipating that this knight goes to e4, so we're trying to disallow that with as many pieces as possible. Knight still goes to e4, because takes, and now bishop to g2. What can we do to kind of quell everything? Well, we can play queen b4. Knight is pinned. So you can try and take this. You're more than welcome to. But we get short castles in the meantime. We get queen takes c4. Bishop takes e4. Some tactics flying here. Simply because obviously you might think, well, hang on. Takes. And I'm okay. Doesn't this lose a piece? No. Because the rook is hanging in the corner. So, I mean, Magnus Carlsen would be better. Not that much, actually, according to the engine. It's only about plus 1.8, but it's very interesting. It's very, very interesting. So, what we have then in the game is bishop takes e4. We have h5, and now the summary for the rest of the game. Magnus Carlsen is going to be under a huge attack on this side of the board. He is going to try and launch his own attack on this side of the board. We are imminently going to get opposite side castling. We get h4 to kind of quell everything, and here Ivanchuk makes a mistake. He plays bishop to g4. The currently Vasyl Ivanchuk plays bishop to g4, and not the best move. He has a slight edge in this position. The engine prefers bishop d7. It's like the bishop doesn't need to go out here because it might get kicked out or something. Just play bishop d7, play long castles, and you'll be fine. It thinks bishop g4 is a bad move. But Magnus Carlsen responds with also a pretty poor move. He plays rook e1. The engine thinks that you can play bishop d3. The engine likes this. Not quite giving up a pawn. So you have to play like queen b4. And then now it would like you to play a3. Queen b3 is the move, and then, just get your queen kicked around a bit. Anyway, Magnus plays rook e1. We get that long castles now, and now we get rook b1. So rook e1, rook b1. And I told you what Magnus's plan is to go this way. Ivanchuk is going this way. King b8. Now bishop to g2 gets out the way. Perhaps we can maneuver the knight, play e4. We get rook hg8, because that's what you have to play. Now here, Magnus's best move is surprisingly enough to play bishop f1. Bishop f1, with the idea of perhaps playing e4, opening the bishop this way, because again, you're going after the king. Both kings are the targets of attacks. If you are going to play anything else, perhaps an a3, but here Magnus plays queen e3, deemed a mistake. But again, this, I would like to remind you, is not a classical game of chess. This is not a classical game of chess. This is not the World Championship that we saw with Anand. This is not what we saw with Nepo. This is not even with so efficient. This is a blitz game now, effectively, if it wasn't already, or a bullet game. They are down to very little time on the clock. Queen e3, very practical choice. Bishop f6, again, a mistake according to the engine, but I'm setting up ideas of sacrificing, opening everything up against your king. We get knight to e4, which targets that bishop. Bishop moves to d4, hits the queen. I play queen d2, and now queen takes a2. A very bold strategy to just, give me an open a file towards your king. Very, very bold. We get queen f4 from Magnus Carlsen, which is the first of many blunders. Now, this one is not the main one we're focusing on. This one's the blunder according to the engine. This blunder takes the eval from negative 0.8 to negative 1.3. So you lose 0.5. I mean, that's like an inaccuracy. So it doesn't like it. Again, the engine spoils all the fun. It's like, just play e3. Because the bishop's not seeing that. You're hitting this bishop, and you can't take. You've got to, go backwards to, h8 or whatever. So, e3. And now the engine likes bishop e5, perhaps. Threatening up, sacrificing ideas. And then what you can do is you can follow up with knight g5. Threatening to take this. This kind of entombs the bishop. So then you've got to play rook g7. And now you can play this move f4. And the bishop's got some tough choices to make. It really only has f6. And then, queen c2, king h2. It's like, yeah, play a slow move. And you'll be okay. You can survive this. Queen f4. Now rook gf8. But now look at this, b4. That pawn is hanging, but it's not worth taking. I am ready to knock on the door of everything against your king and open everybody up. Bishop e5, though, played. Important move. Kicks the queen away to e3. Now here, I would be a coward and repeat moves. But Ivanchuk was close to getting medals in this. So he plays c4. He does not let you open the b file. Yes, the queen is slightly open. So now, rook a1 looks tempting, but the bishop is covering that square at the moment. It's a really wonderful piece. So for that reason, we play knight to c3. But now there's queen a6. Queen a6. And yes, there's queen d2, but now rook c8. And how do you get your breakthrough? How do you really get your breakthrough? We get e3 now, finally played. Bishop to f5, rook to a1, just walking directly into this pin. But for the moment, you attack the queen. Queen slides over to b6. Now you can play rook a4 and bishop d3. Bishop d3 is a mistake. If you play bishop f3, but we just double up the rooks, completely fine. Ivanchuk's still slightly better. The engine still prefers black. It thinks, oh, Magnus has a bluff, a wish and a dream. That's what Magnus has got. We get a6. Now that's a hook. There's sacrificial ideas in the air is what I'm thinking. Go, go, go. But we get bishop f3 now. Rook g8. King g2. f5. Just everybody, let's go. And Magnus Carlsen calls the bluff. He just calls the bluff, plays bishop takes h5. This is the moment I think everything went wrong. Up until this point, I think it was a relatively balanced game. It's funny because I'm looking at the engine right now. It says bishop takes h5, best move. Obviously, it is not thought deep enough. It's only on depth 11. When you go deeper, bishop takes h5 is a dreadful move. Just aesthetically, you have opened up both files for attack. This bishop was hopefully, trying to get in here. It was defending some key squares. We now get rook fc8. Now you play b5, but there's f4. I'm crashing in. Knock, knock. E takes f4, bishop takes f4. Again, this pawn is pinned, so this is a legitimate attack on the queen. You can't even sack your queen because you won't even get the rook back. So we get queen to e1. And here Ivanchuk just goes for it. Bishop takes g3. And Magnus Carlsen, the game is level again. Ivanchuk has given it away. F takes g3 is perfectly fine. Yes, there is rook f1. But here, you just got to be calm. You just got to do the impossible and sack the queen. Queen takes f1. Bishop takes f1. Rook takes f1. And black has nothing. Yes, there is a takes b5. But you can play rook b4. And yes, there might be, for example, queen e3. But you can play rook f3. And you can defend everybody if you sacrifice the queen. That is what Magnus Carlsen had to do here. After rook to f1. Everything else is lost. Well, what Magnus Carlsen does, he doesn't just lose the game. No, Magnus Carlsen is the greatest player in the world. If I'm going to lose a game, I'm going to lose it in style. I'm going to play queen d2 and not hang mate n4, mate n5. I simply hang mate n2. He thought about, rook f2 or rook g1 because the rook now covers, but he forgot about queen g1. Check. King h3, and this is check and mate. Rook takes g3. Magnus Carlsen simply hung mate n2 in a World Championship match, queen g1, and the game ends. And here, ladies and gentlemen, I would love to show you the game footage, the ending moments from this incredible, incredible game between these two amazing players.